Hey there, what comes to your mind when you think about punishment for crimes? Prison bars, fines, maybe some community service. Well, the world isn't just about plain old jail time. Some punishments are so weird, you'd think they were created by a comedy writer on their day off. What if you got punished for jaywalking by wearing a chicken suit, or forced to listen to Justin Bieber on repeat until your ears begged for mercy? Today, we're counting down 15 of the weirdest punishments for crimes around the globe. Let's get started before I get sentenced to hosting a show in a chicken suit. 1. Justin Bieber's playlist of Doom, USA. First up, we've got a punishment that's music to absolutely no one's ears. Back in 2012, an Ohio judge decided to teach young offenders a lesson they'd never forget. Their crime, reckless driving. Their punishment, listening to Justin Bieber's The Baby on repeat for hours. You might think, how bad could it be? Well, imagine this, you're stuck in a room, and that one music keeps looping over and over. By the time you're out, you'd rather give up driving forever than face Bieber again. In most places, you'd just pay a fine or lose your license for a while, but this judge believed in making the punishment fit the crime, with a side of torture by pop. 2. Chicken suits of shame, USA. Forget orange jumpsuits, how about dressing like a chicken? In some American towns, petty thieves have been punished by wearing full-on chicken costumes and standing in public places holding signs that say, "I stole from my community." Now, let's be real. No one respects a criminal, but a criminal in a chicken suit, that's next-level humiliation. Imagine your friends walking by, snapping pictures, and turning you into the next viral meme. In most places, petty theft gets you a fine or a slap on the wrist, but here, you're paying with your dignity. If you don't want this punishment, like the video. 3. Public haircuts, Iran. This one's for those who think their hair is their crown. In parts of Iran, if you're caught behaving unruly or violating social norms, you might get a public haircut. Imagine strolling into a barbershop and leaving with the worst haircut of your life, courtesy of the authorities. Forget jail time, this punishment guarantees everyone knows you messed up the second they see your uneven bangs. Elsewhere, you'd probably get a warning or community service, but here, your hairstyle becomes the ultimate walk of shame. 4. Singing the national anthem in public, Thailand. Next, we're heading to Thailand, where litterbugs get a punishment that hits all the high notes, literally. If you're caught littering, you might be forced to stand in a public space and belt out the Thai national anthem at full volume. Now, singing in the shower? Fun, singing in front of strangers while they judge you for being a slob? Not so much. This punishment is designed to embarrass you into keeping your trash in your pocket next time. Most countries would just slap you with a fine, but in Thailand, you're turning trash into a live concert performance. 5. Force marriage to your victim, Indonesia. Talk about awkward. In some rural areas of Indonesia, if you're caught engaging in certain premarital relations, the punishment might be marrying your partner, whether you want to or not. It's like a rom-com gone wrong. They were caught breaking the rules, now they're breaking into marriage. Except, it's less romantic and more like a lifetime sentence with someone you probably weren't ready to commit to. Most places would fine you or let you go with a warning. Here, you're skipping the dating stage and heading straight for the altar. 6. The poop collector's redemption, Taiwan. Here's a punishment that stinks, literally. In Taiwan, if you're caught littering or not picking up after your dog, your punishment might be collecting other people's dog poop from public spaces. Imagine explaining that to your friends. "Oh, this? Yeah, I didn't clean up after my dog, so now I'm paying it forward, in the smelliest way possible." Elsewhere, a fine would do the trick. But in Taiwan? It's hands-on learning at its finest, or should I say, dirtiest. If you think the punishment is worth it, comment now. 7. Karaoke justice, Vietnam. Think karaoke is fun? Not when it's a punishment. In Vietnam, if you're caught disturbing the peace while drunk, the authorities might make you sing in front of them to sober up, no auto-tune allowed. It's like American Idol, but the stakes are humiliation instead of a record deal. Pro tip, if you can't hit the high notes, maybe don't hit the bottle too hard. 8. Holding ice blocks in Siberia, Russia. In Siberia, when you're guilty of brawling or disturbing public order, the authorities make you cool off, literally. Your punishment? Holding giant blocks of ice while standing outside in freezing temperatures. Talk about poetic justice. You lose your temper, and now you're out there freezing, wondering why you didn't just take a deep breath instead. Most countries would hand you a fine or maybe some anger management classes, but in Siberia, they say, let the cold teach you what self-control couldn't. 9. Eating raw onions, India. Next up, we're heading to India, where minor infractions, like breaking curfews, can lead to a punishment that's as spicy as it is strange. Offenders are made to eat raw onions right there in front of the authorities. Now, I get it, onions are a kitchen essential. But raw? That's a different story. By the end of this punishment, you've got regrets, and probably a breath that clears a room faster than a fire alarm. Anywhere else, you get a ticket. Here, you're peeling back layers of regret, one bite at a time. 10. Dancing for forgiveness, Philippines. In the Philippines, if you break curfew or other minor laws, you might find yourself dancing your way out of trouble. Literally, offenders are required to perform a choreographed dance in front of a crowd. Imagine you got caught for something small, and now your punishment is becoming the star of a dance-off in front of your neighbors. Forget community service, this is community entertainment. Anywhere else, you'd pay a fine. But here, you're paying with your dance moves. Hope you practiced. 11. Marrying a donkey, Saudi Arabia. Okay, not quite marriage, but it's close. In some parts of Saudi Arabia, if you're caught selling fake goods, your punishment is being publicly shamed next to a donkey. The idea is that you've been as dishonest as the donkey is stubborn. But honestly, the poor donkey didn't sign up for this. Anywhere else, you'd face fines or a court case. If you don't want to go to jail, share now. 12. Bright pink prison uniforms, USA. Arizona's infamous tent city wasn't just hot, it was pink. Male inmates guilty of minor offenses were made to wear bright pink uniforms and live in tents under the scorching desert sun. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who implemented this in the 1990s, believed the color would humiliate prisoners and deter future crimes. But hey, at least they were rocking the Barbiecore trend before it was cool. Elsewhere, you'd just do your time in plain orange or gray. Here, your punishment comes with a fashion statement. 13. Sweeping the streets, India. In India, if you spit in public or litter, you might get handed a broom instead of a ticket. Offenders are required to clean the streets they dirtied, while everyone watches. It's like the ultimate clean up your own mess lesson. But hey, at least the streets get spotless, and you learn a thing or two about public responsibility. Most places would just fine you, but here, you're turning into the neighborhood's temporary janitor. 14. Watching citizenship videos, Singapore. Singapore doesn't mess around when it comes to civic responsibility. If you're caught vandalizing or committing minor crimes, you might be sentenced to hours of watching educational videos on how to be a good citizen. It's like being stuck in the most boring Netflix binge session of all time. By the end, you're practically begging to clean graffiti instead. In other countries, you'd serve community service. Here, it's a classroom of one, and the lesson is guilt. 15. Wearing a "Sorry, I'm a thief" sign, China. Last but not least, we're heading to China, where shoplifters don't just get away with a slap on the wrist. If you're caught stealing, you might find yourself standing outside the store wearing a giant sign that reads, "I'm sorry, I'm a thief." Talk about public humiliation. Not only do you have to admit your crime, but you also become the neighborhood's hottest topic for the day. Forget petty theft, your reputation's the real thing you're losing here. In other countries, shoplifting might land you in court or get you a hefty fine. But in this case, they're serving up embarrassment with a side of shame. And there you have it, 15 weird punishments that prove the world's justice systems are as diverse as they are creative. Which one shocked you the most, and which one would you actually prefer over a regular fine? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, the next time you think about jaywalking or littering, just imagine yourself in a chicken suit or singing karaoke for the police. Not worth it, right? Till next time, stay curious, stay safe, and stay out of trouble.